Okay, real quick, just want to give a quick shout out to Fiction Boy. He didn't exactly request this film, just suggested I could probably do it, and I'll admit that it did plant the idea in my head ever since, so thanks for that.
What's our plan of attack, sir?
Follow me.
Wait a minute, Warner Brothers? Those assholes wouldn't know how to Star War if Yoda lightsabered them in the Batmans.
I'm a hardcore WB hater for a variety of reasons, but this is not one of them. They were in charge of Cartoon Network, who had the Clone Wars show for years before Disney canceled it. That show is phenomenal, so I disagree with this sentiment.
Do you get the feeling with this music that you're watching somebody's fan film, or a Simpsons parody, or a piece of you don't want to watch?
Sending the Clone Wars main theme. That's worth a few extra.
Also, this movie supposedly takes place between episodes 2 and 3 of the prequels, which means this movie is stuck between the taint and butthole of the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, that ain't a bad thing. I know you're just covering the movie, which is generally considered to be not good, but surely you know about the TV show, right? That has a ton of praise around it, so clearly the fact that it takes place during the prequel era isn't a problem.
A galaxy divided!
Oh no, the movie replaced its scrolling text with an overeager narrator.
Sending Tom Kane's narrating voice. Okay, I promise this whole video isn't gonna be me being an angry Clone Wars fan. The rest of this video is generally reserved.
Also, this feels like it needs spinning newspapers.
That's the point. This narration is meant to be an homage to the old war newsreels.
Crime Lord Jabba the Hutt's son has been kidnapped by a rival band of pirates.
Excuse me, what? His son? Are you serious? Funny we're only hearing about this guy just now.
When would Rhoda have ever been mentioned in any of the other movies? Do you really expect Jabba to talk about him while Luke and Leia were trying to rescue Han?
Anyone who can help us find his kidnapped son.
This warlord reaches out to the federal government to help him find his captured son, instead of simply taking matters into his own hands and sending a bunch of bounty hunters to do it.
He did send bounty hunters, but the fact that he's also contacting the Republic shows how much he wants his son back.
The Hutts control the Outer Rim, and we'll need their space lanes in order to move our troops.
Also, the Republic basically allows a mobster to control major trade routes in the Outer Rim.
Because the Hutts are powerful. That's been made pretty clear throughout this whole franchise.
The only Jedi we can spare are Skywalker and Kenobi.
Conveniently, those are the very best and well-known Jedi we have.
Sure, it sounds like that if you look at it that way. But here's a different point of view. The Clone Wars has a lot of Jedi and clones around fighting, and we are simply focusing on the adventures of Anakin and Obi-Wan.
A messenger we are sending.
Come on, guys. Was it really hard to get Frank Oz to do Yoda again? You got Samuel L. Jackson to do Windu.
Listen, I love Frank Oz as much as the next guy, but Tom Kane still does a really good impression of him, and I don't mind his voice. And don't you always send bad movies for having great actors anyway?
So, to be honest, I have no idea why they're fighting right now. Maybe they explained it? I don't know.
It doesn't really matter. This movie's plot revolves around saving Jabba's son. This just happens to be a battle that Obi-Wan and Anakin are around when this story takes place. But if you're really curious, watch the show. There are 2 episodes that actually take place before this movie, and they explain that there are people on this planet that the Republic needs to save from the Separatists.
Also, stealing robot designs from Syndrome.
That looks nothing like the Omnidroid to me.
What's our plan of attack, sir?
Follow me.
First of all, they didn't know the plan of attack before they got to this point. Second of all, they have no f***ing plan of attack.
No plan? You mean the plan to jump on top of this droid and destroy it?
Anakin and 5 clones attack the evil equivalent of Epcot Center. Well, I'm just praying that Captain EO makes it out alive. He didn't ask for this.
Arbitrary Disneyland reference. That's a new one.
Obi-Wan, Anakin, and company are clearly outgunned and outnumbered, but they still manage to defeat this army of droids.
Just because this movie is hated, that doesn't give you an excuse to just lie about what happened. They don't defeat this army. The Separatists retreat, and that leads to them activating the giant shield.
You see this shot right here? This shot explains in painful detail why a whole bunch of robots shooting each other is boring as shit.
Did you just call the clones robots? I'm pretty sure the TV show made a whole point about how they're not just mindless droids and that they're real people.
This clone loses his blaster and resorts to punching the droid, because every little bit helps, you know?
What do you think he should have done then?
Retreat! Retreat!
Unthinking droids need a verbal command to be told to retreat, rather than a simple signal. How do you become a robot captain anyway? Aren't all these things made at the same assembly line and programmed with the same code?
So you played a clip of them retreating, and yet you kept that earlier sin about the Republic managing to defeat them?
You really think it's a good idea to bring a Padawan learner into all this?
Anakin has a point. They are in the middle of a fucking battle.
Like you said, every little bit helps. Attack of the Clones made it very clear that the Republic doesn't have enough Jedi to maintain the peace, so sending Padawans out to help them should aid in them winning the war.
You'd make a good teacher.
Yeah, until he murders the entire class.
I'm pretty sure Anakin wasn't a teacher to all those younglings.
I'm Ahsoka? Master Yoda sent me.
He doesn't often send cats, but with all the wars going on, it's hard to send homing pigeons anymore.
What's the sin? Are you just saying Ahsoka looks like a cat? Really?
So he sent me to deliver the message.
Okay, but why? They didn't have any non-irritating adults that could deliver a message.
That's not the only reason Ahsoka is here. It's later revealed that she's meant to become Anakin's apprentice. Heck, even before this scene, Obi-Wan claimed that she was meant for him, although we later find out he was most likely lying.
I'm at your service, Master Kenobi, but I'm afraid I've actually been assigned to Master Skywalker.
Okay, I laughed.
You see, the Emperor turned off his mute button on the hologram thing, which makes him visible and
Still hitting on holograms, as usual. Also, he's not an emperor yet.
I'm Master Skywalker's Padawan. The name's Ahsoka Tano.
Plus 10 sins for Ahsoka Tano and every word that comes out of her mouth. This character almost out Jar Jar's Jar Jar.
Whoa, 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 that's a bit harsh. I know Ahsoka was hated in this movie, but she isn't anywhere near as bad as Jar Jar. And besides, she goes on to become a fan favorite character, so 10 sins is a bit much.
You're stuck with me, Sky Guy.
Her calling Anakin Sky Guy induces a level of rage I rarely experience from a movie for children.
Sinning this nickname.
I don't even think you're old enough to be a Padawan.
But Master Yoda thinks I am.
Well, Master Yoda's about 900 years old. He is clearly becoming senile and losing his mind.
Is that why he goes on to teach Luke Skywalker some amazing lessons about how to become a Jedi?
Also, she looks like a cat who's proud of a that missed the litter box.
Oh, so it is that you think she looks like a cat.
If you're a captain and I'm a Jedi,
You are definitely not a Jedi.
Ahsoka is arrogant. She's a lot like Anakin in episode 2. Of course she'd get ahead of herself like this.
Robot.
This lame pun.
Someone has to get to that shield generator and destroy it.
Why is the shield generator out in the open? Why can't it be underneath the shield? Why do I have to think of these things?
It is underneath the shield, you dummy.
They will march forward under the protection of their shield until they are right on top of our cannons. Then they'll blow them away.
Why aren't these assholes moving faster then, if the shield is such hot?
Probably because the AATs don't move that fast.
Meanwhile, on the monochrome planet of Perpelia, a guy walks around looking for the source of yellow that was rumored to be here by the old man he met at the People Eater Tavern.
That's just straight up a Jeremy points things out on the screen cliche.
This bull works.
Can you at least explain why this wouldn't work?
We're inside the shield.
This movie and my dictionary differ in the definition of shield.
This is consistent with how the shield has worked though. It expands so big and the buildings around it go inside of it too. Obi-Wan and the clones were hiding behind some debris, so of course the shield would go past that, but cannon fire cannot penetrate it.
I think we made it past all them, Master.
I can tell because my raccoon powers can sense danger while under a metal box.
That's called the Force.
Maybe the so-called shield should have been made of this blue material. It seems like it's actually better at shielding things.
Just listen to my previous sin about the shield.
Jedi, don't run!
What the f*** is she talking about? I've definitely seen running Jedi before, and I don't live in this universe.
Again, Ahsoka is an arrogant teenager right now. And the only time I can think of where Jedi run is whenever they're against these droidicas, and that's because their shields are nearly impenetrable, as I explained in a different video.
Obi-Wan shows how great he is by showing how terrible these droids are.
Yeah, that's exactly how showing how powerful you are works.
Bring us something liquid.
P? I think he means pee.
I know you're a comedy channel, but that was one of the worst jokes I've ever heard from you.
The f*** is this shit? Easily avoidable triple arms? Unless you're this stupid chick that caused earthquake robots? What in the tectonic f*** is this?
I don't see the problem here. Doesn't it make sense for the Separatists to have some sort of guard for their shield?
I had everything under control.
Oh, so that's why you said...
I could use a little help!
Yeah, but Ahsoka did something that nearly got Anakin killed. I'm pretty sure he's just pissed right now and forgot that he said that.
Medic! Need a medic here!
When have the clones ever cared enough about each other in battle to call for a medic?
Since the very beginning. We've never seen it in the prequels because those movies never really focused too much on the clones. That's what this movie is highlighting. These are not just mindless droids. Like I said earlier, this is something the TV show also does. It humanizes them.
What happened?
happened to the shield?
The same thing that happened to Fun.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
You're reckless, little one. You never would have made it as Obi-Wan's Padawan.
Maybe this is the point, but are you f***ing kidding me?
What's wrong with this logic? Anakin was reckless too, and Obi-Wan seriously struggled when he was training him. Attack of the Clones also showed us that whenever Anakin would do anything, Obi-Wan would vote against it. So Ahsoka being taken under Anakin's wing, who is used to this kind of recklessness, makes perfect sense to me.
I guess these are the bounty hunters Jabba sent, but all I saw were people in masks, so this reveal isn't nearly as powerful as Jabba wants us to think.
And yet, you earlier claimed that Jabba never sent bounty hunters, so why didn't you go back to revise your script?
Jabba has given us only one planetary rotation to...
Cool your jets, college boy.
What even was the sin here?
Stay close to me, if you can.
It won't be a problem, Master.
Are they flirting right now? How old is she supposed to be? Like 13?
Did you just suggest that they're flirting? You know Anakin is married, right? And Ahsoka is 14.
Concentrate fire on Sector 11374265. 1137... What was that again?
It's almost like these droids don't have CPUs in them. Like they've got human brains inside their robot bodies. Did we just witness the violent end of an innocuous comic relief character? Or was that supposed to be funny?
Yes, it is. It's supposed to be hilarious seeing battle droids get killed and scream for their lives. Whether or not you find it funny is a different discussion.
Gotta keep up!
Way to show a kid who's boss, Anakin.
Jeremy sends Anakin Skywalker for being Anakin Skywalker.
This looks like one of those Baomar monk monasteries that I read about in my studies at the temple.
Apparently at Jedi school, they cover a wide range of topics for movie exposition.
Why wouldn't the Jedi archives have stuff like this?
Not a place for a servant girl.
Do servant girls carry these?
Is Anakin gonna tell her she's holding it backwards, or should I?
That's how Ahsoka has always wielded her lightsaber, dude. And it's pretty dang effective considering how many battle droids she's killed.
Also, do I want to know how that baby even came into this world? Is there a Hutt mother? Asexual reproduction? Hatching? Or budding of some kind?
Nobody cares about these questions.
I have discovered it is the Jedi who have kidnapped him.
This plan seems way too complicated to blame the Jedi for kidnapping Jabba's son. What would they gain from it? Would they have known Jabba would come to them for help after his son was kidnapped? Also, they can use his space lanes?
No, it's so the Hutts can join the Separatists. Again, they are powerful, and so having them on the Sith side will be a great challenge for the Republic. You haven't been paying attention.
This smells like Count Dooku to me.
Nope, it's just the movie, I assure you.
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
We could use a little help here if you have the time.
The crux of every battle scene in this movie is the Jedi need reinforcements.
But wouldn't it be boring if the Jedi always had everything under control and didn't need help? What would be so fun about watching that?
There goes another Wilhelm. Only 2,500 more to go before we obliterate the species.
Sending the Wilhelm scream.
I suppose you have a plan.
Relying on Ahsoka for a plan. So her plan is to have R2 do that thing where he scans the whole building and finds a way out. Got it.
And what's wrong with that plan?
Master!
You! The baby Hutt does not know anything about landing platforms. He's a baby, and he was kidnapped and taken here, probably in a bowling ball bag. He doesn't understand anything about the gravity of this situation, or that it would help, and you.
Except this isn't a human being, it's a Hutt. It's possible baby Hutts gain intelligence a lot faster.
Anakin jumps on the giant dragonfly when that apparently wasn't even an option earlier. Before, he was like, so much for going that way, but somehow forgot the dragonfly riding skill he learned while vacationing on Pandora.
Where else would they have gone if the landing platform wasn't there?
She's at it again.
Probably should wait to help her. She'd get all mad if she died while you were helping.
You think she'd need help against a couple battle droids?
Don't you dare!
Making basically all the villains robots is a pretty clever way to make sure your young heroes can kill indiscriminately with zero moral repercussions.
Yeah, that's true, but is that a sin of the movie? Also, I'm pretty sure you specifically sinned Phantom Menace for having Jedi kill droids, because that's apparently not fun. Now you're aware why they have them do this?
Need I remind you, whoever gains Jabba's favor will control the war in the Outer Rim?
I hope not, because that's the whole point of everything that's happened so far. Also, this is like Indiana Jones saying something like, need I remind you, if we don't get the Ark of the Covenant, the Nazis will. 2/3 into the movie.
That was two sins for the same thing. Double dipping.
Also, it sounds like Dooku could simply have kidnapped Jabba's kid, then cut out the part where he framed the Jedi for it, and simply brought the kid back to win Jabba's favor that way. He could have said anybody other than the Jedi, and it would have been a better plan.
I'm sorry, but how are you so bad at watching movies? The Jedi work for the Republic and are known as keepers of the peace. Dooku wants Jabba to turn against them, so framing them for kidnapping his son is the perfect plan and would further motivate Jabba to want to join the Separatists.
There's nothing R2 can't accomplish by sticking his penis in it.
Jeremy says boner.
Well, now I'm impressed.
Ventress allows Obi-Wan to quit.
Sinning Obi-Wan's quips.
Apparently Anakin decided to approach a friendly ship in an enemy ship without telling anyone, and he expected everyone to understand that he was a good guy by his flying style, I guess.
Doesn't he immediately contact the Republic after they shoot him?
That changes our plans.
The explosion and numerous deaths? Yeah, I would hope so.
Yelling at the screen.
Anakin makes this ship jump into hyperspace, but wasn't Ahsoka looking for medical supplies? And is Baby Jabba even strapped in? And isn't R2 just standing around like a dick? Wouldn't hyperspace cause all three of those people I just mentioned to crash their bodies into the windshield?
That's a valid sin until you said windshield. Ahsoka's in the back, so she wouldn't have hit it.
When the moon hits your eye like a flattened representation of spherical objects, that's a shoddy animation.
That's close enough to a Jeremy sings in a video cliche.
You must dispense one of these medical boosters into the infant's mouth.
All that trouble with Jabba's kid being sick, and somehow this random ship carries a magical serum that saves the day.
Because they didn't have medical supplies before this? They even tried to board a Republic vendor because of that.
No, R2. I want the cannon operational first. Leave the rear deflector shields for later.
Can't he do both? He has the magical penis.
So you've always sinned R2 in these movies because he can seemingly do everything. And now you're sinning him because he can't do everything?
Wait, do the blasts that miss the target just keep careening through space forever until they eventually hit something?
No, it would eventually die out and be useless.
We've attempted to contact Jabba. He won't accept communication from us.
And there's no way in this futuristic world where we can leave a message or tell him what's going on. Intergalactic voicemail won't be invented until Steve Jobs' soul arrives in the galaxy.
If he's not listening to their calls, I doubt he would listen to their messages if they left any.
What is it, Kronos 327?
The movie introduces us to Jabba's androgynous uncle who speaks fluent English, and may be the only English-speaking Hutt in the entire franchise only because subtitles are hard.
I feel like it makes sense that some Hutts would learn to speak Galactic Basic, not English.
Walking through the desert with no water or protection from two suns. Maybe that's why Ahsoka is that color.
Even though she's been this color since the beginning of the film, I understand the joke you're making, but that fact ruins it and makes it not funny.
Master Yoda has a saying, old sins cast long shadows.
Like that lap dance sin? Ah, so many memories.
I would have gone with this one instead.
Hermione isn't old enough to be hot yet.
What if she found out I helped you kidnap Jabba's son?
And you, my friend, will be left to take control of all the Hutt clans.
Character introduced with 15 minutes left in the movie revealed to be the catalyst of all the film's action.
Yep, that's a legit sin. This movie was originally meant to be 4 episodes of the TV show, and so if this reveal had been done in that way, it wouldn't have felt so jarring. That's the biggest issue with this film overall.
Time to split up.
Movie decides to become an episode of Scooby-Doo in the last 10 minutes.
I'm pretty sure splitting up isn't just a storytelling device in Scooby-Doo.
Your training has come a long way.
Sith Lord complimenting a young Jedi on their progress as a Jedi during a lightsaber fight cliche.
In other words, sinning a Star Wars movie for being a Star Wars movie.
Also, why are you laughing, Dooku? Anakin just took your only mode of transportation, and you are in the middle of a desert.
Jeremy, how about you listen to what Dooku said before this, and then you know why he's laughing.
After my droids kill Jabba's son, they will deliver your Padawan to him for punishment for the Huttlet's murder. I can't imagine he will be merciful.
Your timing was perfect.
It wouldn't be Star Wars without some perfectly timed ex machinas.
Considering this was earlier setup when 3PO attempted to contact Padme and then she yelled at him to call for help, this is by definition not a Deus Ex Machina.
I am Senator Amidala of the Galactic Congress.
One day you'll make my daughter wear a slave outfit for sexploitation, but I'm not here to talk about that right now.
Yeah, that's true. but why are you sending this movie for that?
The Jedi armies will now have their supply routes to the Outer Rim.
This story will almost certainly be referred to throughout Revenge of the Sith, and the characters of Ahsoka, Jabba's son, and Ventress will all be remembered fondly in this universe by people who don't watch the cartoon series later.
This entire film is the pilot for the TV show, and if you want to find out what happened to these characters, you can go ahead and watch that. I'm more upset though that you just called it a cartoon. Like, no, that show has some extremely dark and gruesome scenes that aren't family friendly, so this sin is for blatant ignorance of a great show.